Welcome, welcome. I am Mark Cleveland. I'm the host for tonight for our game of Runners in the Shadows. This is an actual play demonstration, so to speak, but also a chance for all of us to kind of show our what we like about cyberpunk fantasy mashups, as this is sort of my love letter to all of that. I have with me three illustrious players, one of which is we're going to start as usual with you, Emerald.
I'm Xalkyrie. I play our fallen noble Elven Emerald with a terrible French accent. I am
Definitely.
roleplay variety streamer on twitch.tv/Xalkyrie. Do some tabletop, some modded game server roleplay, and hopefully more in the future. And that's about it. Look forward to another bit of madness today.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Gray.
I am Raven, and I am playing our troll mage / decker. He's Jensen Ellsworth Coventry III. He's a former executive corporate type who has abandoned the life because he didn't like the morals he was seeing. Some things went down. And so his street name is Grinds, but he still dresses the part of the corporate executive. That's good, yeah.
All right, so I'm Eric. I am playing a jerk. I'm playing party snake, Kenton St. John, goes by the alias Sick. He is as an SIC because I spell everything wrong. He is a disgraced or blacklisted journalist and enjoys twisting people into knots with his words.
Yeah, well, at least you're honest, right? Yeah.
The player enjoys twisting NPCs into knots. I don't know about the character.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those playbooks that is sort of meta. It's got abilities to make it more meta, but you didn't take those yet, I don't think. I think you played it easy on us. You were like, okay, I'm not going to take the trust me one or the other ones that like let you kind of backstab your teammates pretty easily if you want to. So that's interesting. So I guess so we'll talk a little bit about like what happened last time. Let's catch our audience up on what's been happening in Kingston. Last session, the characters were recovering following the theft. The silver cane is like a serpent cane or something. We're not sure what to call it yet, but it's an artifact, and it was restolen after being delivered to the Legionnaires, who are the Popo, basically. So the Popo are going to be looking for that. Yeah, that may come into play, as we move forward. You were going to get a bonus faction status with them, but now you'll get a minus when they find out who the culprit was. I think it's uncertain if they will figure that out. So I will probably just leave that as a short clock that I can tick consequences as you leave evidence behind somehow, that it would just add to the stack, right? That the detective who's like the low level one, who's like assigned to try to figure something out, they'll be putting these pieces of evidence together, and maybe it'll actually end up in their inbox if consequences befall you. So that's one thing that we'll be looking forward to seeing Phil or not Phil. I like the idea that crews are really in a lot of control of this. If you don't resist, it's like saying, "Oh, that's what's supposed to happen," basically. So I'll be interested to see how you handle that as it comes up. I imagine you're making a plan for what to do now that you're all sharpened up, right? Like last session, we saw you like indulging vices.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like, do you want to talk about what your characters would be thinking about doing with the cane, or what you're thinking about doing apart from that, like as downtime type stuff? If you have anything like that in mind, like I'll let you know what it is. But
Well,
what are you doing?
yeah. Well, last time, we had just finished up our meeting with our new client. Well, not our new client. And we got paid in Mexibucks instead of New Yen. Uh, thanks to some bad rolls.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe we could do a scene here, where we jack out of the virtual space and we order a dinner here at the at this lounge that everyone goes to conduct their virtual business. Because I figure there's these nice plush booths that everyone sits in to jack in and do their business, and then afterwards they probably order. Because this is in the treehouse, right?
Right. Yeah. The treehouse is
Or-
like a public, very, or not public, but I guess the public could go there. They just wouldn't want to. But anyone could pretty much go in and out of there. With the virtual space, yeah, you're jacked in. It's private and very different atmosphere.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking we could do a scene where we order some dinner and maybe see some of the character differences that way.
Oh,
are we
right.
ordering and yeah.
Oh, this sounds
So,
oddly
I think,
similar. This also sounds oddly similar to the like starting situation from like every Shadowrun campaign ever, where they like test out the game as food fight. You all went to get dinner, and something happens when you go to pick it up, or when it's delivered, or yeah. But we could leave it. We could just leave it as a fun situation. Let's get a slice of life here. You're all at the safe house ordering dinner, right?
No, I think we were like jacking out, and so we're in the treehouse in the virtual, or in the space where we jacked in to meet everyone, which was fancy. It had the booths with the local jacks, because who wants to do their business from their safe house? You could get tracked that way. So
Oh, right.
so this is a nice public area to do that from. That's kind of wink wink nudge nudge kind of deals happen there. But afterwards you can order yourselves dinner if you want, or you just leave. So I figure we're going to be like, well, crap, that went less well than it could have.
Right.
Just Jensen will like call for the waiter and order off the menu. He's gonna be like
Yeah,
I'm ordering the house special, and why don't you bring me a bottle of the 14 Très Bonnier.
I think we said
yeah.
this was. I think we said that this was a fancier place, right? This was the kind of place where Emerald would go, if I recall.
Right. Yep.
Does Jensen order for Emerald?
Good
Oh,
question.
well, it's a whole bottle of wine that he's ordered. So does Emerald agree with his choice, or is she all like, that's swill?
Well, I meant the food too. I meant not just the wine, but the food
Oh.
too. Like, do you do the full like upper class gentlemanly thing?
Gentleman thing, and do the. I think he knows Emerald well enough that he's not going to order for her also, because class-wise she used to be above him. So he's ordering for himself, and then glancing around the table at everyone else, to see what they want. Unless, of course, you think that's part of our dynamic where he's like trying to,
I could have gone either way. I was curious what your take on it was.
Well, it's not like
I don't really know.
It's not like they ordered an appetizer, right? So I think they're saying, "What do you want to eat?" Right?
Yeah.
It's not like a share plate.
No.
Yeah, I think he goes, and what would you like, my dear?
And yeah, I think she has that like kind of kid in a candy store type look as she's kind of looking at the menu and kind of is like, you know what I miss so much, Jensen. I miss caviar. I miss foie gras. I miss all the finer things in life. I'm sick of having 3 days of hot dogs. And she,
Well, luckily yeah. I think Jensen's like, well, luckily we're flush with Nguyen right now.
you think so? But that they can go so quickly, though. We're not exactly drowning in it, you know? But
Oh.
and she looks at the waiter and points and everything. I'll have this.
Almost reminding you of your current status and your desire for caviar. An ad pops out of the corner of the thing to like say, "Would you like a delivery to upgrade your order?" And then it's like, "Just down the road, sir." And then they're like, "Imitation caviar contains blah 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 blah," and it's got a bunch of stuff. You probably chemical names that you probably don't want to eat.
Not responsible if you have a heart attack at the bottom,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it comes with a warning with a little like triangle, but it's the edges are rounded off so that it looks happy,
Yeah. So she like stabs at it to get rid of it. She says, sure, don't want to, yo.
Yeah, you could have ordered that, but all right. So we won't see what quality of caviar you can call in, but you're welcome to the offerings on the menu that you were pointing at.
She selects something and looks back and goes, "What do you miss most, Jensen?"
It's like a corporate. I think it's like a corporate cafe, by the way. So just saying. So they've got like a variety of stuff
down the road,
but none of it's awesome. Yeah. None of it's awesome, right?
They're distracting each other. I don't know what they're doing. I'll order the biggest steak on the menu.
Right. All right. The double cube steak coming up.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
I think Jensen just quirks an eyebrow and says, that's normally for trolls. I'll be fascinated to see you finish this entire thing.
Oh, I like the idea too that like trolls might order that a different way than a human would, because like, humans will eat it like fully processed so that it's like tenderized and good and has like the savory flavors, but they could just get it like simple, right? Like, and like hard so that it like sharpens the teeth and like, you know what I mean? It like cleans their gums better, all of that. And then,
Yeah, I could see that's totally like a normal troll thing is like raw and not tenderized and just like, maybe lightly seared. But of course, Jensen doesn't do that. That's just, that's uncouth. But hey, he's looking forward to seeing Sick, get this entire steak down. Well, and but Emerald's question, he kind of looks, he sweeps one of his huge fingers across the table and says, "Tables that aren't sticky." So that's his answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, it's the stickiness that bothers you.
Well, you said he kind of shrugs and says, well, there's not a lot I miss about it. A lot of snottiness, a lot of corruption, a lot of lies, backstabbing. I can do without all of that. A lot of judgment. We're kind of looked down on, us trolls.
That is true. A lot of people are looked down on. I don't know. I missed the people, though. I missed knowing what Just knowing how to maneuver the waves, how we say. It's so strange and chaotic down here. It's easy to know when it used to be easy to know when someone was lying or bolstering their fake accomplishments. But down here, people lie just to lie.
Shockingly, someone is eyeing your character Gray from the bar. There's like a very attractive. I guess maybe what would be attractive to your character? She's looking at you, or he.
Well, it'd be a female, and I don't know. He was born human, so he probably still has that sense that female humans are, attractive. So
Well, then it's probably a bombshell female local from the island, but she's dressed too nice for the island. She's she's got like a bangle on that kind of sets her apart. You see that it's like got some glitter on it, some kind of stones of valuable type there, and she just kind of like lets it fall down her wrist as she peers over her hand towards you, almost like she got in the way of where you were looking and where you were facing in the conversation, and then like did this dramatic movement with her arm to kind of like spin around and then like, oops, I noticed you, and then like takes a sip out of her drink and like looks at you like fiercely, and then just kind of like when she sees that you've seen her, she like turns around like kind of like almost like and then like looks back over the shoulder too, to make sure that you looking too, and
make sure that I saw.
It's what happened just now was I was like, how likely is it that a troll maybe gets like insulted right at the moment they're talking about being a troll, and then like something might happen. But I rolled 2 dice and took the lower, and I got a double 6. So so I said, you know what? Somebody just is going to like refute what you just said, and unexpectedly you could like see that it seems like someone's warmed up. Like this club like has people that are friendly to trolls here, so among their membership. Yeah, I don't know what you call those.
Goblin
types.
chaser, I guess.
Right. I don't know. There's probably a word for it, a slang word.
There probably is. Yeah.
I don't want to say it, so we'll just go with that. And then troll lover, right? A troll lover, kink, maybe. I don't know. Maybe she likes maybe she likes some kind of kink out of that. But
it's a troll kink. Yeah. I think Jensen just kind of quirks his eyebrow and glances over at Emerald and says, "What do you think?" Or seems I've attracted some attention. How do you think I should proceed on this?
What do you do?
You actually noticed this time. You get a lot of looks before. You just were always oblivious to them.
Yes, usually looks like, what the hell is he doing here? You know what?
Yeah. They're usually not attracted looks. This one looks like you could see the fire in her eyes. And also, I think like she lingered her eyes way too long, and she's obviously playing into it. So there's that. And I think there's certainly like an element of like, well, usually they just talk. They don't usually look. So that's probably what they usually look away. That's usually the response, probably from most people, right?
Yeah.
What you should do is
they're just like you're not a person,
If you go up hotel, compliment her on her dress, but not on her shoes. She looks like she sewed that together very quickly.
Jensen will give kind of an odd look to Emerald, like, like, okay, so now we're, now we're, judging everyone's fashion, but everybody else. know, excuse me, and I'll be back. Or not. And goes over to the. She's at the bar, right? Or there's like a bar there. Is what she's sitting at, or where is she sitting? I guess.
I think it's fun to say that she's at a spot where where she's like left an extra seat, right? Like she's like a high top, and there's two chairs. She's standing next to one.
Okay.
She's standing next to one, and then when she sees you approach, she just kind of like does the thing with the eyebrows up, and then sits down to kind of like see what you do.
Okay. He approaches her and just kind of glances at the chair, and the high tops aren't built for trolls, so he has to stand. You know, they're for the smaller people.
Yeah, the larger chair is available.
Enough, but not.
It is available, but that would be you'd have to ask the waiter or something, right? Or ask for assistance.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Can you go get me a bigger chair? Yeah. And he's not going to draw attention to that. He's going to approach and Boy, I gotta wonder. Well, he does have a consort of one, so he's probably not like terrible at talking to people.
If pressed, right, you could
Says
make
something like, "I noticed."
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Make connections.
he's used to. Well, he's very he's usually very well spoken because he went to finishing school, so he has that whole thing about him. I did not, so I don't know precisely how to characterize that. But yeah,
how does a troll
it says something like, what's that? Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah. How does a troll like you try to approach a situation like that? And I guess the idea is you're going for her. You're gonna try to. You're hoping that she's like, you make small talk so you can find out more about her, right? Is what you're trying to do.
Yeah, he's curious about the situation, but he's wary because he knows how trolls get treated normally. So this is kind of an interesting and weird situation.
Yeah, your troll can do that. Yeah.
He figures there must be something. He figures something's up. Like, she clearly can't be interested in him. It's definitely she's looking for something else. She wants something else. But he'll do he'll do what Emerald suggested, and just say, "Oh, that's a lovely dress you're wearing." And he's going to avoid the shoes comment.
I know a bunch of pickup lines that I could insert there, but so cool. I think she's like looks at her dress, and she's like, "Oh, this old thing," She tries to play it off, right?
Right. Yeah.
And she sort of she looks pleased that you've noticed. Anyway, she's like,
"Yeah,
I did used to look rather nice in it." And you notice a little bit of like some lines here of age covered by some kind of makeup as you've come up close, right? She's got some kind of makeup or maybe some kind of a facial treatment, something. But she looks banging, man. Like she is drop dead. Gorgeous. As you got close, you realize that she's got muscle up here that's like, she's like not just some kind of office whatever, like prim and proper or whatever. She's actually like done some work in her life maybe. So she's athletic, and also has like the hair type that your character maybe from like a ex from maybe the first love or something, right? She's got the exact hair type.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
What kind of hair type is that?
So for Jensen,
well, as she brushes her hair back, it's revealed. It's revealed, right? It looked like it was straight, and then she pulls it back, and it reveals something underneath, right? Maybe it was like curls or like a wavy parts, or a different color.
I think it's like she's got sort of the tail end of the the 80s, when the big hair was finally coming down. So I think that's come back into style now at this point. So that's what it is. It's not the huge, the giant mounds of hair on the head, but it's fluffed out kind of and teased, I guess we'll go with. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we get like a flash of that, like of your ex with their hair all teased and like going all crazy, and then it doesn't show her whole face, and then it's just like boom, and shows the rest of the face, and it's this girl in front of you, and yeah, there's like I think there's like a back and forth where she's like, oh, so you come here often, right? That kind of thing. But then
yeah, and he's like, what's a lovely lady like you doing in a place like this kind of line.
Right.
But yeah. But without necessarily being quite so quite so detective noir about it.
Yeah, I think it becomes clear you don't have to try that hard as she responds like she's like, looking for someone like you, and she slurps her drink down, finishes it, and then jingles it a little bit, and she's like, a pity. She says, maybe I should get back to dancing. Perhaps you'd like to join. And she's like, points down the hall to the like dance room, where you know that there is a good chance for you to like grind on her, basically.
I'm assuming it's like more new beats rather than like classical kind of dancing here.
I imagine she's not going to be.
Jensen isn't into.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Jensen's not into the new kind of dancing. He's as a corporate exec, he was in finishing school and all that. It's it's the tango's about as fierce as he gets. So. But other than that, it's like kind of ballroom dancing stuff. So I don't think that's what the treehouse has. So he kind of raises his eyebrow at her and says, "It's not really my style of dance, but I do thank you for the invitation. You're certainly a lovely woman, and I would love to take you out somewhere more." I don't know, upper class. What's another word for that? But along those lines.
All right.
Wizard.
Somewhere more, yeah.
More stylish.
Somewhere
or
more classic. Yeah. Stylish. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so I said that you critted on the like chance of whatever. I think at this point,
right.
If you just played into it, right, like did what she wanted it to, that would probably be like assured. But in this case, we're gonna I think we'll give you like a couple dice already. Like instead of just doing one die for consort, we'll give you a bonus die, and we'll just see how it turns out. Yeah, so she's like kind of like, oh wow, okay. She thinks that she's like, what? You don't think I'm classy? She kind of misunderstands your intent. And then how do you smooth things over? And
he just I think he motions for does the whole 2 drinks thing to the table, and just says, no, quite the opposite. And then, I mean, just leaves it at that, because what else needs to be said? Yeah.
Right, you recover and smooth. That's how Grinds recovers, is like with a smooth comment. Yeah, and
right,
so I think she's like, oh, right, and then she says, of course we should exchange info for a later meeting. Yeah, I think she does that. She's like,
yeah.
She's willing to swap comm codes or whatever. That's probably like you can tap comms or something, or do it wirelessly across the club if you wanted to.
Yeah. I think that's what he does. Says gets her info and he sends his to. They do whatever it is.
All right.
They tap PDAs or however you do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll add something to your sheet. Phone digits.
He'll just sit here and chat with her, and if you want to jump back to Emerald and Sick.
Yeah, Hottie's digits.
We get a job.
Hold on, adding Hottie's digits to your items.
To my items.
Your items.
Well, I mean, you could use it that way, right?
I'm gonna use them on a run, right?
Does Hottie's digits give me plus the quality?
It gives you fictional position to have a partner on a date.
Oh, it gives him position, all right.
No.
Ooh. Roll to decide which one. No, I'm just kidding. That's a different game. That was there was a game that did that in the 80s.
Oh my God, really?
It was stuff like that. It was
I'm not
terrible.
surprised though.
It was yeah, it got bad reviews. So we're not doing that in this game. But yeah, so I think you get the digits. There was a little faux pas at the end, but otherwise you managed to cover it up. I think it was probably just like the way, like even though like you said it was just like the way you delivered it because you're a troll or something, you know. And
Right,
she saw
yeah.
past it. She saw past it when you recovered the way you did. She was like, "Oh, that's right." She's like, she enjoyed the glint in your eye, I guess, or whatever, and accepted what you'd said, and then traded digits, no problem. What were the others doing while that was going on? You were eating, like we want to see the meal, right?
So, I mean, I assume it's
Those are-
going to take a while.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I guess we could cut to like there was like drones like chopping up the food, pushing it through some like graters and like pressing it into like syrup form, and then like it
Shapes
turns into a steak patty, right? And they like do a second one. And they're kind of stuck together as they come off the grill and like roll back onto the plate, and they're still sizzling, and it looks right. It looks like a steak, but it's got like a little like indentation layer in the middle, so you can sort of tell that it's not real. It even clinks with like a bone sound, like a T-bone or something. And we see the steam come off and the smoke lines or whatever, you know. And the other Emerald's meal. What did you order again? Wine.
I didn't actually. Well, yeah, I didn't actually specify. I imagine it's.
Let's see, wine got ordered, and then
Oh man, it's probably like. It's probably like some like lobster and pasta dish type thing. In like some sort of like reduced wine cream sauce or something over the top with that, you know, sprinkled
Yep.
with chives and
Asiago
whatnot.
and right.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Yeah, and it, you know, and it comes with, you know, a fresh salad of, you know,
Since you ordered something awesome, I like the idea that when it comes out, you didn't look at the size, but it's like a boom and like boom,
Yeah.
like two little
yeah,
portions of
Yeah.
like the most fresh salad. It looks super fresh and has like an actual like cherry tomato sitting on top, but the plate's not much bigger than that.
like most restaurant ordering food. But you look at the picture and you're like, "Ooh, that looks so good," and then you get it and you're like,
Yeah, it was
"Where's the
enlarged.
other half?"
Yeah, it was super enlarged
Yeah.
in the picture.
So she probably gets it, and like you see that like you see that complete emotional momentum change where she was like excited and into it, and you know relieved to not have hot dogs anymore. And then the food shows up on the plate, and her face is kind of
Well, we'll make a roll to see if you can get dessert if you order anything else, because you went. Oh, the dystopia. We got to make dystopia rolls for, you know, everything. No, yeah. All right. So you got your meal that you wanted. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. It's disappointingly small, but it's what you wanted.
Yeah. Well, how does Sick go through his steak? How vicious is he with it?
The buckle buster steak.
Right. Yeah, we're wondering about Sick.
So I was going to look around and find a table with an odd number of people at it, and walk over and sit down and introduce myself with my steak, of course,
With your steak.
Oh,
and
I
the
got
bottle
it.
of wine. And the bottle of wine, since you're off at the bar talking to some.
He takes my bottle of wine,
Oh, perfect.
and everyone's left sitting alone. Oh,
Yeah,
So
heartbreaking.
I'm looking for a group that has probably been indulging a little bit, and so their lips are a little bit looser in terms of, you know, of letting things slip. But a table of people that look like they might be the type of place we're in, on the higher end of the corporate world, considering where we're at, right? I mean, so middle management,
right.
but and just trying to engage them in a conversation and using my kind of journalistic abilities to see if I can let them drop any or get them to drop any kind of juicy rumors and bits of information.
Yeah. Okay. So part of what we were saying was that we like earlier. I heard someone say the tree lounge, so there was a little confusion there. I think we're in like the office build, right? The office building. They have like some kind of spot where people can mingle from the various different sub offices and things in there, and the virtual cafe was down the hallway or something. Right? Because you wouldn't be interacting with other virtual people unless you were in a virtual space, maybe the shared meeting space. So, or in the food court areas where we're talking about, like I think that where you could order the food. So, so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
You could just find some people and just chat them up. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of a more formal, not formal as in suit and tie, but a normal kind of restaurant. But
there's some music coming out of
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think there's some music coming out of a restaurant that you could go to where people are dancing, right? There is a spot, So this is sort of a shared meeting space for various different entertainment activities, either like after work or maybe before or whatever,
sure.
I guess. There's gyms in the area, things like that.
Okay.
Office
buildings.
So I'm
going to,
food.
And I'll probably mingle with my steak and bottle of wine and try and pick up some rumors about office gossip and things that I might be able to piece together as far as pieces that are going on. Which executive is doing things that he shouldn't be with, or she shouldn't be with her secretary, and
juicy gossip.
Which scientist is on the edge of some major new breakthrough that's all hush hush? Those types of things are what I'm interested in.
I've got an idea. Your character would know this if you were trying to find out that kind of info. It's definitely like the sort of thing you probably would be unlikely to pick up on, but you might find a lead on by doing what you're doing. But you might pick up on it more if you were like in an office, sneaking around, listening at doors. That could get you into trouble, but it could definitely also open you to hearing something you shouldn't hear. I think the office workers know not to say that kind of stuff out in public. But if you were in a private setting or you met someone, right? Like maybe you're trying to find a lead, so you're trying to find someone that works in a particular building or something, one of value. So you're just looking for like that lead. I think I could give you that with a fortune roll or something to see how hard it is for you to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I assume I'll have to kind of read between the lines of what they're saying, because they're going to be somewhat guarded, which is why I'm looking for tables that have had a little bit more to drink to begin with.
All right, so you were shooting for a hustle anyway, right? To try to talk them out of it, that kind of info, not listen in.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. So yeah, if you kind of convince someone that you work in the building, that's the research building nearby, if you were like, you know, if you just like walk into their conversation and be like, hey, did John give you the memo or something? You know, like that. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, I wanted to sit down with you anyway and talk to you about this, with the project that's coming up next month, and see if they just bite on. You know, you could just try that and just see, you know, if you can bull your way in. You got 2 dots in hustle. We said it's nearby. We'll give you another die. Nearby their office. So. Like, I want to give it to you. Like, I want to give it to you. I just don't know. I just don't know if there's any complication or like fun to talk about along the way. Oh, did you roll it?
So I
You got a
got
6.
up with a 6.
Nailed it.
Oh, well. Cool. All right, cool. So it's smooth. I guess after a few attempts and people are like, I don't know who John is. They're like, you know, there was a table where they looked a little out of place. You walked over there, you just tried that spiel and it started to kind of work. One of them says, "Oh, right. Yeah, the project." And they were like, "Why? What's going on?" And you were able to talk your way into realizing that they're working on something kind of secretive. And they're like, yeah, we're going to meet back to talk about, we're actually supposed to have, we moved the meeting. We're going to do it down in the conference room on, 4A. And they've just given you a location where you could go and pretend to be one of them. They're like, bring your trodes like before. And you're like, what? So, I think what you're able to piece together, what your snake mind can piece together, will depend on a roll as well. Unless you want to try to do something here. What do you do once you realize that there's some pieces here that you don't understand, but you've gotten some kind of valuable opportunity?
Yeah, I'll see if I can slide in that my trodes are damaged, and was wondering if I could or I could if I could borrow a new set.
Yeah, you can basically get a set of trodes for cheap. They won't be the best experience.
Okay, so they're not
like if you're tested, if your speed is tested or if your like quality of your whatever is tested,
So they're not a thing. They're
they don't take up any load.
So-
and we could roll we could roll 2 dice to see, your tier or your level numbers of stash levels, which would be your lifestyle. We could
That's
roll
all right.
something to figure it out if it becomes important how great that item is. But I want to say that you could probably just get a set of trodes fairly easily. It wouldn't be like the seat that would secure you from like falling over if you were like damaged in VR, and it wouldn't be like a nice set of, with a nice case that you can carry around and like whip out like in 2 seconds. But yeah, you could just carry them in your pocket.
And if this is normal equipment, I might have actually even have them. I don't know if it's pretty standard stuff. I just wasn't sure what. I just wasn't sure if it was something special or if it was just the normal.
Well, I want to know what you do with
thing.
it. Yeah, I want to know what you do with it, right? Not tell you how much, keep worrying too much about load. So like, let's say you got that, you've got that, you're able to get one of those, and then,
do I know when this meeting is, or is it like?
Yeah, they gave you the time. It's like it's the next day, in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like before the work shift normally would start for like office hours and stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah. And 4B, the code they gave you is like an office door number for a conference room in that building. It's on the like I want to say it's in like the rented area. And so it's like I think that inside that door there's a bunch of people sitting in chairs in the dark with trodes on. And they're in a virtual meeting and they're about to like negotiate something cool. Maybe they're going to like sell an item or throw around ideas for
Now
like
or tomorrow
R&D, like right during that meeting that you could be potentially in. Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
you
I
got to
don't
make a
know what-
plan on how to get in there, right? Maybe you went and scope it out.
Yeah,
How,
I'll
how,
do some.
yeah, how does that look, or
I'll do-
what do you do?
Is it obviously like, um, since it's a rental space, is it fairly open where it's not?
Have you gone
odd
down
that I'd be
there?
wandering around.
Yeah, have you gone down there yet?
Uh,
I guess you're saying you want to go down to there, check it out. Yeah, so okay. So if you check it out ahead of time, you see that the building is like has like 2 floors on the bottom that you can just anyone can go in. There's 2 that you just need just need to swipe your your name or whatever, just enter in it's like a level 0 check. And then as you go through the various floors, once you get to the room that you want to enter, you'll have to confirm with some kind of code there, right? Some kind of authorization to open that door with your comm. So someone could spoof that to get you in the door, right? Or there's like other options, right? You could try to steal some credentials or, like talk your way in as someone else is going in there. There's that approach as a snake. That's probably going to appeal to your character. And
Well, I will. If I've got a sense of who these people might have been, I'll do it the old-fashioned way and fish for the authentication code from a unsuspecting employee to try and talk them out of it.
okay, yeah. So during that meeting would have been a good time, or during that little like interaction when you were doing the food thing earlier, and you just kind of came in on the conversation and slid in. So like one of the office, one of the personnel, they were the one who was the most volunteering with information. I think they've sent you some kind of like, just like a note, just to say, okay, here it is. It's 4B dash dot 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 dot, and then that's the building next door, right? So they just sent you a little ping of that, and yeah, you have this opportunity to talk to them. I guess. What do you do or say? What do you try to do? Like portray yourself as someone at the office, right?
Yeah.
And you want to learn the authentication code to get in that door.
Yep.
Like maybe like I guess that could be like, hey, I lost mine or I lost my device. Right? Like you don't have your device on, like it's on silent. And you're just like, oh, you tried to send it to me, but like I told you before, I lost my comm, something like that. And maybe they'll reissue you one just so you get in. I think they start to get a little bit suspicious, probably, is what's going to happen. But I guess how do you make it seem like legit when they're like, oh, I think I'm going to have to call Sally and have her do it from the office, though. Like I could authorize this, but there's a process to it. I'll just put in the form for I'll let Sally know that you need it. What was your employee ID again?
So the
last 4 of those, that's they're like, we'll find it that way.
The trick here is I would actually be building a relationship.
Oh,
These
you're
people
gonna do that
more so than and trying to plug them at this point for that kind of information. Because I need to know, for example, where they work, name of the company, or where I supposedly work.
You've spotted the badge. It's
and,
it's TR&D or something, which is like temporous R&D.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Right.
spotted the badge. You know where they work.
Yes, so that's that's quite enough for me, I think, at this point to have that to have the ID and to make a bit of a I'll make some small chat with them or whatever, and then excuse myself and go back to the table that we were all at, and order another bottle of wine on Jensen's tab.
Okay, so Kenson returns.
Sick has absolutely no money.
I guess they're drinking water. Or no, they're drinking reconstituted water.
I was drinking Jensen's wine.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're drinking the wine. Okay. Well, you said you were broke. Okay. Okay. So, yeah,
That's why I was drinking.
So do you give any impression that you just got some valuable info, or do you just kind of hold that close to your chest for now?
Oh, because I need some help. So I'll ask Jensen if there's any way he can give me a authorization code. I know he does that computer type stuff.
So I assume I think my conversation with the lady is done, and we've traded our digits. So
It can be.
What's that?
It can be, or it could be that you two are still talking, and our snake rather interrupts you. That's up to you.
I think we'll have it that Jensen, that we've traded our contact info. So Jensen's going to, my dinner's here. I need to go sit. It was wonderful meeting you. I'll make certain to contact you, and then he's going to go and sit back down and eat, and notice that Sick has taken his wine that he ordered.
Yeah, the interesting part about that interaction was that she seemed quite eager, right, as before, and she gave you the phone number or the comm code in this case, and then she didn't linger, right? She took off like you would expect someone who was actually interested in you, and that they just realized that you were a little busy or whatever, and then they got what they wanted. They're gonna talk to you soon. Right. And you get like a message probably later during the interaction that's like, it's like, still thinking about you, here's a pic of my something and they show you like a pic of them like walking next to their favorite flower, right? Or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Sly dog, you.
Yeah, and she says, look, it's just like it's named after me, and it says Tulip, so that's her name, Tulip.
Interesting. We're gonna put that down in my notes here so we don't forget.
Yeah. Tulip may come up later. You can always return to speak with them, try to develop a relationship or something.
Right.
She's into your type. She's into your type, so
yeah, clearly she's into trolls.
Yeah, luck smiled upon you that day. It's my fault for rolling. If I hadn't rolled,
rolling. Yeah.
If I hadn't rolled, it would have been like, oh, somebody just talks crap about trolls. But because I rolled 2 dice. Well, anyway, so actually that's that's actually kind of a good spot to maybe take a break. I think you're all like reconnecting, right? And yeah, we can see like that there's You know, like a smile on on our troll's face for once, maybe? I don't know. Like they're probably.
Yeah, he's probably. Well, I don't know that he is smiling. He's still wondering,
You think something's
what's
up.
going on with this? Yeah, something's got to be up. And then he notices the wine is gone, and he looks at Emerald and says, "Why did you let Sick take the wine?"
Look at this potion. Why is it so tiny? What do you mean the wine's... Where'd the wine go?
Sick took
Zeke.
the wine, and he's now sitting. Other people eating his steak. Well, at
Use
least
your
my food
photos.
looks. He shoves his plate between them and says, "You're certainly welcome to share the house special here. After all, you've gotten rabbit food and I think a dollop of ketchup, perhaps."
Yeah, but your new girlfriend might be a bit jealous if I start eating off your plate. I'll just have to get another hot dog later on. Woe is me.
Mm.
As you,
And then I think
I think there's like a tomato that you've just like maybe like tasted as well, but when you put your fork into it, it deflates. Just a kind of like
sad tomato.
Yeah, sad tomato, and then yeah, then yeah, that's when the episode kind of starts to, go to break, and we see some office, like somebody's jacket from like an office worker like sweep by the camera. We see like pinstripes like go by and block our view, and yeah, we go to commercial break. We'll come back in about 10 or less, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm thinking if we need longer, we'll let you know. But yep, stay tuned, and we'll be making a plan for a run.
Sounds good.